Hey Jerry, have you ever played Age of Gods? It seems like it'd be right up your alley. I mean, it's gods warring and gambling and trying to prove who's the supreme leader of them all. Oh dear God, no. Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
The senator felt it was time to play some board games.
Why are you glowing?
I won this glow in a poker game with St. Jerome.
Oh, this one's going to be interesting.
Yes, quite. The senator decided that people should be able to choose what gods can fight for the supremacy of the common lowly rat.
Alrighty, Senator Jerichus it is.
Senator.
Boardgasim. Boardgasim. Boardgasim.
Age of Gods is a game of godly warfare for 3 to 5 players. You can play with 2 or 6, but do so at your own risk. At the start of the game, everyone's going to get 2 of these cards that represent different types of gods, like the god of war, the goddess of love, things like that. You're going to get 2. You're going to look at both of them and you're going to choose one. Once everyone's chosen, they're going to flip up to reveal. Basically, each god gives you some special game-breaking rule, like you get extras to attack, you get extra to defense, things like that, that basically just give you a one-up in some type of way. The game lasts over 9 rounds, and on each particular round, a set of things happen, and then a set of special things also happen. Thankfully, it is marked on the board, like both what round you're in and the special thing that will be happening on this round. The majority of the game is you attacking with races that you either know that you control or that you're hoping you're going to control over time. At the start of the game, you will start off with a race of a size 4, and the races are all on the side of the board. The bigger the size, the more tokens they get, representing the bigger population that they have. You're going to know the size 4 that you have right at the start of the game. But you're not going to know what the size 3, the size 2, or the size 1, of which there's only actually a couple tokens in the entire game. So it's a real give and take of, do I start attacking with something that I don't own, in the hopes that I don't get it and someone else does? Do I just play it safe and let the smaller races go for now? Personal choice, really. On your turn, you're going to pick a particular race on the board and pick one of their tokens and say, I'm attacking this spot with this race. You then roll the die. You put in any modifiers, whether it be like extra defense or extra attack, depending on, like if you have attack, if the race you're attacking has extra defense, what have you. Depending on the result you get, you either are not going to do anything, and then the tokens are just going to stay as is, or if you defeat that spot on the board, you remove the token, put it back in their pile, and you actually take a token of the race that you defeated them with and put them on the board. They get slightly bigger. At certain points in the game, the races of size 3, 2, and 1 cards will be handed out, and they'll go in order, so you're actually not going to know what the size 1 races are till like the second or third to last turn. Once you know what they are, you keep them secret, and at the end of the game, the cards are finally going to be revealed, and you're going to see, okay, well, this person had this person had this race, and you're going to get points for the spots on the board that those races have taken up. There are spots that represent cities. In addition to giving you extra defense, those are going to be more points on the board. There is also a bit of a gambling aspect that at a certain round in the game, you have these cards throughout the game that are kind of just like random cards that once you've used they're gone, so they might be like, alright, get an extra attack, or attack a particular spot on the board. If successful, that spot is wiped out and nothing can go there for the remainder of the game. You can, if you want, towards the end of the game, you're allowed to bet on 2 races. They don't even have to be your own, and say, I believe this race is going to be completely on the board. Now, this is completely optional. You may want to hang on to these to use the abilities they have later, or you may have some cards that you look at and you're like, okay, there's no way this particular race is ever going to be entirely on the board, so you might choose to pass. However, if you do bet and are correct, at the end of the game, they're revealed, and if the races you bet on are in fact entirely on the board, you get extra points from that as well. After the final round, everyone adds up their total points, and whoever has the most points is the winner.
Yeah, seriously, I can't keep that going the entire time. If I do, this review would take like 20 minutes. That guy talks so impossibly slow. He's really annoying. Anyway, point is that this game is huge component-wise, and how could I pass up the opportunity, even while in a toga, to talk about it? So, components, Age of Gods, it's all components. It's little tiny, tiny things everywhere, and it's very... if you've ever played the Lord of the Rings Risk version, it's very similar in a lot of capacities. I mean, it blocks off chunks of land for certain places, and yeah, it does kind of almost have a Lord of the Rings vibe. And if you question that, I bring up the fact that there are humans, high elves, dwarves, dark elves, wood elves. Then it adds some things like pirates. And, halflings. Love that. Not hobbits, halflings. Hobbits would be too much of a dead giveaway. Not acceptable, hobbits. Halflings will work. And then it just adds a bunch of other weird things like Amazons and gargoyles and gnomes and the voracious. And, there's monks. I love that. There's monks. These are all little areas that you can control. Little people that have their little land stretched out amongst the board. And they just throw a mishmash of every fantasy person you've ever considered. So you've got giants and necromancers and ogres and fairies and monks and gargoyles and the aforementioned pirates, nomads, which are a form of pirate, but not quite pirate, more sand pirate. If you were to pinch hairs. And that is like the global mass of this game. Just tons of tiny little pieces. They're actually kind of well made though for little things. They've got interesting, quick little designs in the front that are stereotypical of their races. So we've got the dwarves, and they have a hammer. The humans have a shield and a sword. High elves have a fancy piece of armor. Chaos, which I believe this is supposed to be the Mordor of this world. Chaos. They've got a little sickle hammer. And on the back end, you've got little sketchings of what they think each goes. All in all, art for this game is actually quite wonderful. It's kind of like they just took a guy, Asmodee took an artist, and they went, all right, just do whatever you want. And he came back with this insane board that he spent like, I don't know, a solid 2 months working on. He's like, I drew up all the tiny little pieces. Look, I've got everything. So the whole design concept behind it is magical. It really is done really well artwork-wise. Cards are basic card stock, and each one of them has their own unique design depending on the different races. And there are 18, 24 different races. So each one has their own design pattern. That's insane. The amount of artwork it took to do this game must have been tedious, and whoever did it, sir, I salute you, because that is an epic commitment to your job. And we've got our little tokens over here. They get the job done. The little gray ones are a bit odd. These are a bit plain compared to everything else. But everything else has its own unique artwork. And although the components aren't like, we're not talking Fantasy Flight style, hard edge cardboard here, brilliant. But we are talking an incredible amount of work into each little detail. I mean, everything was designed. And overall, it's very pleasing. So Age of Gods, it gets an excellent as far as design goes, just because of all the work they put in. Components are good and medium stock, but that's not the real pull. The real pull is just the elaborate amount of art that was done for this. And if you appreciate the Middle-earth style, the kind of fantasy realm, then you'll actually probably dig this game quite a bit, just because it goes out of its way to incorporate everything you've ever heard in one. All right. So all in all, Age of Gods, great design, good work, game designer, and good work, Asmodee.
And yes, by the moon I've swooned to the coming of such ancient gods, whose sword flows up from the ground, the sound of the coming age of God. And here in the night, by the light of such fickle mirth, the earth is the child of distant gods, the ride, the staff of the coming God, the age of God.
Well, Age of Gods. Age of Gods is an interesting little game.
Interesting little game.
It's a good game. Not a great game.
Not a great game.
But it's a good game. It definitely does have like the theme down. Like even though it only uses like little counters and tokens and things like that, it does kind of feel like you're having a big war of the factions of the gods.
War of the Gods.
As a whole, though, I mean the game itself, like I said, not great, but it is good. I give it a hearty 7 out of 10. I'm not going to knock it for just what is probably one of the worst setups of any game ever.
Worst.
Because even though I enjoy playing this is one of those rare games I will avoid just because I know I'm going to be the one to set it up. And it's like,
to die.
let's play Age of Gods. Oh, sweet. Does anyone want to set up the board? Hell, does anyone want to help me set up the board?
No one ever does.
Alright, I guess I'll set it up. It's been a while. 20 minutes later, the game shall begin.
Senator Jerichus likes Age of Gods. It allows him to control the ebb and flow of the divinity scheme like no other. Age of Gods is a good game. You control little pieces, and you force your opponents to war against each other. Senator Jerichus gives the game an 8 out of 10 for originality, warring gods, and paying tribute to the bloated hierarchies.
I'm assuming Senator Jerichus also enjoys the fact that you lie most of this game.
Senator Jerichus is inclined towards lying. Admittedly.
Alrighty. Well, that's Age of Gods, and this is Boardgasm and Senator Jerichus signing off.
Gosh, I don't even know. Did I lose another token?
Ah! Jerry! For the love of God, why?
I thought I saw a token under the board.